Welcome, this is Draco, and we are back to finish up the league we started last time. The Mono Blue Merfolk, we had a really nice run, but we are only 2-1, which is of course unfortunate as we wanted to get the trophy. But let's see if we get the 4-1 with this amazing list that we took and ran with last time. Of course, this list was top 16 at Dallas with a field over 200 players, so excited about testing it out. It also looked to be running really well, and I gotta say that following up on last time, we can see from some of the records here that this guy, shout out to Court, he managed to get two 5-0s in model leagues with this exact list here, both on the 10th and on the 14th. And you can see if you look into the deck, it's exactly the same 75 as Thomas Shelton has been moving. So nice to see the deck performing, and I'm not unsatisfied by this. I'm definitely excited about playing Merfolk at the moment. And you can see the list here. You can see the list right here, and you can see the list here. Thomas Shelton, and if you go to the recent statistics here, we got here the 14th court doing a 5-0, and again at the 10th and the 14th. So well done by the man. And you see this is exactly the 75 that Thomas Shelton was running. But let's get into the action. We want to, of course, see if we can manage to take this all the way back to 4-1. Let's get to it. Okay, so round 4 against Maka. And we got Lord Ace in the chat saying it's nice to see we are grinding the fish. And I do indeed agree. We gotta be grinding the fish. And I think that actually I enjoy modern. Modern, and I enjoy Blue Merfolk. I know there's a lot of powerful cards out there, but in the format where a card that originally been printed in 1993, Lord Valentis, is still viable, I think they're doing something right. And Counterspell, Lightning Bolt, all the old stuff. It's pretty cool. This hand is actually decent. We're on the play. We like it. Let's keep it. That's a situation where we don't have to play out the Otavara. You guys in the chat right now, let me know if the music is too loud. I wanted to buff it up today. We need some high intensity if we want to beat up this man. So we're still gonna play out the Adept next turn out of the Mood Vault, and if we get flooded, we can use the Otavara later. I get the clear from the audio. It's good. Volume is good, and we here gotta take up the vial. But one of the things that people have been discussing a lot, of course, is that how could we actually make Merfolk better? And I do believe that some kind of functional one-drop would be the case. My problem is that how should we design it? How should we make a good Merfolk one-drop? And I gotta ask you guys about this. And let me know in the chat if you think this is too crazy. Because I've been all over the place, and I've been breaking the color pie and figuring out what could be a fun way of designing a good one-drop for Merfolk. What about a Sylvan Adept that costs 1 and it's a 1/1 and destroy your card? Would that be too good? A 1 mana 1/1 just cycles. You could also do it in a way where you have to pay the 3 XMN like Adept. So like a card like Adept, which is just a 1/1 for 1. Would that be too crazy? Yeah, maybe it should have to reveal. But I was actually thinking, compared to Ragavan, 1 mana, 1/1, draw a card. Would that be crazy? It probably should, reveal. But that card would be good. That'd be good for us. Okay, this is Murktide, but with a slow hand. But I gotta say, now it looks really a lot like he has been drawing or holding up a counterspell, which is perfect for us because we do have the Ether Vial. And I rather want to just maybe hold up Force Negation for something. Yeah. Lord Ace. Exactly. Ragavan, you know. Same one drop. There's nothing compared to Ragavan. Okay, Otavara is actually really good in this matchup. So we got a couple of lines here. Force Negation we can't use in this. We can't. If we play. If we attack with a Mutavault, we can't use Force to protect our Lord. I just think that the best line is to just protect the Lord and have full Force Negation up. We're still beating down, pretty nice. And the Mutavaults can come in later. So I just want to play down the Warlock Grove. And the Master here. Use the Force Negation to have something up here. Problem is that we have no blue card to pitch to Subtlety if we force. Okay, he didn't have anything. So I just pass here. I'm satisfied with my board here. Otavara is good against Murktide. So I'm gonna Force Negation this. He's gonna counter it, but that means he's tapped out, and then I can use Subtlety next turn. And we're still putting pressure on. Here comes the counterspell. There's a real argument for putting this up, but I think I want to stay it on 1 because I can play the Subtlety anyways. So I'm going to say let it stay on 2 here. We're beating down, and we are ready with the Subtlety. Explicit Variation is fine. He can play now an island and a big Murktide, which would be nice for us if he did. Nice to play against Murktide. I noticed that in the Otavara, yeah. So here comes the Murktide. No. So I think I want to crack the Warlock Grove here. Perfect. Now I can play down the Adept. Okay. I think I want to put up the Ether Vial here, because now we have 2 of the Adepts out. Maybe not, he needs to do something soon. That's not my favorite part of the list. Okay, he's getting beaten down. Now we can also Otavara. Let's see what's coming here. Good play by him. Merfolk Reading is a great card here because he has the Archmage's Charm to protect it. But I still believe that Saltying is good. Then he taps out for Archmage's Charm and counters the Salty, then we can Otavara in our turn. So here comes the Archmage's Charm. Yes, that's fine. We can keep this on 2 because if we draw Lord, we can just win straight up. Did not. Hey, we have Fnatic in the chat. Nice to see you, bro. We're looking good here. 5 threats, 4 HP. This is not the Murktide favorite situation. Beating down with 2 1s. Okay, the line bolt. Yeah. Still have 4 lethal threats. He just 1 mana. Don't see it happening for you, bro. And the scoop. Yeah, this does not look particularly well. This one card needs to be really good. Maybe it's Fog. Good old. Thank you. Okay. So, against Murktide, we need the relics. Some of them are cutting down on the Dragon Race genre, but that's actually interesting if that's still, you know, the best strategy. But I do believe we still do it. This guy showed us a Murktide. But there's a lot of, you know, Murktide decks that are not running Dragon Channel that much anymore because of Ledger Shredder. But we're gonna put them in. These members are good against Ragavan. So we want to get them in there. We have the Brazen Borrower, which are good against Murktide and Ledger Shredder. We gotta get them in there. And then we could consider Spell Pierce is pretty good. And Kira is pretty good. So we actually still have these cards from the sideboard that could be functioning well. But let's see how much we can cut. We don't want to cut. We can maybe cut down 1 of the subtleties, but subtleties could only good against Murktide and the Fury that they might be bringing in from the sideboard. So I think I want to cut down 1 or 2 subtleties. We don't like the Force Negation. We need to counter something that's more impactful here. Spring Seize is bad at this matchup, so let's cut 2 of those. And then we have room for either Akira or a Spell Pierce. I think we can actually take in the 2 Kiras and then cut out 1 to Slayer Loon. Simply because we don't want to overstack our 3-drop spot. But I think Kira is pretty good in this matchup. So I think this is pretty good. The spell pierce could be a consideration. So we're cutting down on the free spells here, but I think it's pretty okay. I think Subtlety is good against Murktide, but only against Murktide and Force Negation. You don't really want to counter 1 mana spells. This hand has all the jazz we want, right? But no lands on the draw, though. We can play the Mimic on 1. We do nothing. If we don't, but we have 2 draws to draw land. Then we have a lot of 1-drops we can play out. The reason why I still like Tideshipper in the matchup is it simply can block. It can block a Ragavan. I think it's too slow. This we mulligan. This is better. It's not a great hand. We need the Adept to draw out of this. I think maybe we should put back the Brazen Borrower or the Kira. The Brazen Borrower is not as best early. We could also consider the Trickster, but the Trickster is good against Dragonrage Channeler. And can also go down and fight a Ragavan early. I think I'd rather want to... we can also cut the... I'm bringing Brazen Borrower in, I shouldn't be cutting that. So maybe we should try cutting the Trickster. I'm not sure about that, because Trickster is a good tempo play. Maybe Kira is better to cut, but it's a good cut against him. We're gonna try this. One of the things I like about Brazen Borrower as well is that it's a pretty nice thing to do on 2 when you don't necessarily want to play Merfolk, because maybe you have the Ether Vial out. Your runner when I get that out. Oof, that's a good spell pierce. Bit crazy they're deciding on spell pierce against us. I don't think that's correct. Every time I see spell pierce against Merfolk. I could have seen sending out the Lord as well. This guy is playing it interestingly here. He's getting the hit in, so hats off to him. But he needs to dash every turn now since he's doing it that way. Let's get down the Adept here. Hopefully get a land, a blue land. Ah, perfect. So we can play it down. If the Adept survives, Kira would be nice. Ooh, here comes Legislator. So the Adept will survive. He's probably going to play the... yeah, he's gonna get Connive now, because this card is really, really good. And thank God I held in the Brazen Borrower. So when this is getting out of hand, we can just bounce it. One thing about Kira is that you really want to get it out as early as possible. Why? Ah, here's the counterspell now. Since he's not, maybe if he's not playing down Ragavan, it's because he's holding up a counterspell. Yeah, okay. So that's unfortunate. So in this case, I'd rather want to just bounce his Legislator in his turn and then just pass here. Everything I play would be countered, and if I play the Lord or any of the Lords before I play the Kira, they will be vulnerable. This is smelling like a counterspell a mile away, so I don't want to play my cards into this. I'm just going to pass Brazen Borrower up. I might bounce. Okay, recommend just place that. I could bounce the Ledger Shredder here to force him to play a spell to get the connive. No, let's wait on that. So now he wants to tap out, right? Okay, we're just gonna take the damage and then maybe we bounce. If you want to get it up and running here. So we can bounce it in the end step. Maybe force him to counter the petty theft, and then we can resolve the Kira next turn. I'll let him do this first. Let's see if he uses counterspell here. No, he didn't. Let's draw a land so we can resolve a Lord. Okay. Not the best draw. This doesn't really change anything. The only thing that changes is that we are still really vulnerable. We can also consider just playing out the Taichi and then being able to activate the Motor Vault. And we do have 3 blue mana. Good point by Fnatic. We can use Oboro to filter. So we could also be playing our Lord and a Tide Tipper. That's actually probably the best play. Good. Well spotted by Fnatic. I think we're gonna do it here and play Tide Chipper and Master. And in what order? I think we wanna get the Tide Chipper countered most likely. So let's start by playing that. Playing it for a blue source. See what he does here. Then we. Oh my god. Did this all wrong here. Needed to tap that one. They do it in response. Oh no. Okay. Oof. I was too fast there. We have 3 blockers now. But the right line would have been to play it here. So how does that work on MTGO? I only did use Oboro in Paper Magic to do this. You wanna then maybe you do it in response to it bouncing. So when it goes on the stack, so you tap this mana and then you bounce it. Then in response you tap the Oboro. Is that how you should do it? If you know, let me know in the chat. I think I rather want to lose the edit here. So we have Fnatic saying add both colorless and in your mana pool, then activate Opera and it will ask you which mana to use. Yeah, of course, that's how you do it. Good point. Okay, so here I think I want to play down the Master. It'll probably get countered, and then we're free to play the Kira next turn. The problem is that we should probably just play the Kira a lot earlier. Just get the counterspell out the way. I think that's how it is. But because we didn't, I think the best play is to play down the Lord here. He's going to counter this, and then we can activate the Muda Vault and block the Dragaman. It didn't get countered, okay. We couldn't play both Lords because we restored an island here. So we couldn't do the Oboro trick. We drew the island on the turn. He is lining up to build a pretty big Murktide here. Now I think we want to block with the Muda Vault. Maybe he has another move spell. This is shaping up to be a bit rough here. Yeah, we should definitely have gotten the Kira out earlier. Now we're just forced to play it and take a couple of hits here. And he might even hit something he can play. So a classical way where this time around we were looking into having an early counterspell, but overthinking it maybe was wrong. Maybe he didn't have the counterspell, and it actually would have been better just to play out the Kira and get it countered, because then it would have opened up our hand. Having the Kira in hand, playing other creatures before it's not really worth it at all. Here Kira is just bad because now we just have two creatures coming in for damage. Maybe I want to do it anyways. Problem is getting hit by another Dragman. Adept and you need to find exactly blue source for that play to be good. So let's just resolve the Kira here. I don't think I want to wait anymore. Another counterspell can come. Maybe he never had it. Yeah, I played myself this game. Should have just played the Kira, the very first chance we had, and say let's get hit by a Ragan once. And if he has a counter, then it's fine. That would have been superior line. Why is he not choosing me to draw 2 cards? Come on, man. Hopefully he doesn't hit anything good here. Brazen Borrower, okay. Didn't want to use that. This is a fine draw. Because now he has a counter, I think. Since he didn't want to play that. I'm showing the Lord because the Lord is the worst card that I could play here. So now we have a well-protected Adept. Muda Vault is a nice draw as well. I might as well hit in here, we're not going to block. So the Adept is hard for him to get rid of. And it can block the Ragavan. We need to not play the Lord of Atlantis. Here comes Let's Shredder, and we are out of Brazen Borrowers. That's unfortunate. And now he has the control in the air. The race is looking tough here. But because of the Muda Vault, I think we have a chance. We can play down the Master and hit in for 6 next turn. That's not the worst, right? Hey Contra, welcome. Welcome to the chat, bro. He is using his removal spells now. Double bolting the Kira, okay. Didn't even buff up the bird. Oof, this member is pretty nice here. Actually, maybe it's not, because we are already on 10, so we're going to go down to so few life here. And the Kira is off the ground here. So we have a couple of lines. We could dismember. Yeah, up against Wu and Merfolk. We up one game in the one match in the game. Or one game in the match. What we are most annoyed about here. We could consider Brazen Borrow and Dismember, or we could consider Master and Hit In. I think I'd rather want to wait on the Master because I can start cheating them in next turn. So I think this turn I want to Brazen Borrow and Dismember. And if I want to Brazen Borrow and Dismember, I could consider Brazen Borrowing the Ledger Shredder now. Or just do that as a block. So just pass to nothing. Could that be the line? We open for not being countered here. So playing the Master and attack with the Motor Vault and that one. Then they go down to 10. And then they hit in for 5. And they have 3 cards in hand. So I don't think there's too many. I think we need the Brazen Borrow up and going. And exactly as Lord Ace is pointing out in the chat. This one is a bit annoying here because it buffs up the Master and makes it unblockable. So this card is practically uncastable, which is why I rather want to just use either our next turn to play the Master, which is the good one of them. So let's just pass, not attack here. And then we have the Dismember as a backup, and the Brazen Borrow can come in and block the Ledger Shredder. See what's going to happen here. We are on the back foot. So he needs to actively go in and discard something that's non-land permanent if you want to get the maximum value out of the Ledger Shredder. Okay, Unholy Heat is of course good. Let's see if he buffed this up here. Yeah, he did. Does mean we're gonna take 8 here? Maybe we could also. No, we're gonna take out the Ledger Shredder. We're gonna take 4, going down to 2, and then we can play the Brazen Borrow. The next turn, we have blockers. Hopefully he doesn't hit anything good here. A Lord. Now this one has Island Walk. That's not the best card he could be hitting. 2 Island Walk Lords here. I think that means we are done for. He needs to hit an island there. Yeah. So 1-1 here. Anything we want to change to the play? I think Svedun is good in this matchup, but the Kira is also good, and we don't want to overstack the 5-drop spot. I think our sidebound plan was fine. I don't think we could be considering a Spell Pierce. Yeah. Chalice is especially on the play, right? So maybe the Chalice goes in instead of the Subtleties. Or when we put in Chalice, we want to take out. Actually, we want to take out Tide Shapers, so we don't get into. But we also have so many 1-drops, right? So that's the problem with Chalice on 1. That we are, doing something to ourselves here. So I actually don't think I want to do it. Chalice is a good thing, but we have so many 1-drops ourselves. I think I'd rather want to just go really aggressive, try to raise them here. It's a good shout going for Chalice on 1, but then we need to cut down a lot on these cards. Then I think we should not be playing Relics and Tide Shapers. So let's just do like this. I think it's fine. Let's play first. This hand does too little. We have the Vial on 1, which is fine, but then we are running into problems. This hand is so bad. We want a Monogun. This is keepable here. We want to put down the Aura Grove. Maybe we put down the Glassbone Mimic. Yeah, like this. This is fine. Really not a good hand here, but it's what we got. Okay, here comes Ragavan, that's a problem. He could be running away with the game really fast here. This memo would be a good draw. Tide Chipper? I think actually Tide Chipper is a little bit better than playing out the Master. Because maybe we can get him off blue. Or, I mean, off red. That could be annoying for him. This is one of the chances we have, right? If he is have no more red sources. That's a far-fetched pipe dream. Let's see. There it is. Then he uses the moon spell now. They do have a lot of 1-drops. I think I would play that Master if I was him. Okay, that's of course relatively lucky. He's getting that 2 times in a row. Yes. I would just have to hope that he has no more removal, but with 5 cards in hand, that's pretty unlikely. Mugta is a good deck. Okay, he's going for the Consider first. Misty Rainforest, huh? Okay. Means he has another Ragavan. Maybe we want to play down the Lord now, actually. Because we're not going to block the other Master anyways. I think that is a consideration. Playing the Lord, getting hit for 3. Yeah, let's play that one first. He has to do something about it if you want to resolve Ragavan. Please go for a counter on this. Okay. Hopefully, I was like, please go Mystical Dispute. Okay. I think I'm gonna send this to the bottom. Crazy that he chooses to evoke this. I think we put this one on the bottom, and now we want to draw with the relic here because in his turn he can now resolve our Murktide unless we crack it here. Okay, the relic is doing work at least. There's a land, that's good. Okay, so now it's only him and his counterspell. This is an interesting situation because ideally I want to resolve both the Master and the Tide Chipper. But he does have a counterspell, so I can only resolve one of them uncountered. So I could also... But I want to play a 1-drop no matter what here. I'm not going to sit back. So maybe I should just play the Tide Chipper. I want to play the Master first. Yeah. I can't counter this. And then I think I need to play the Tide Chipper here. My big problem would be if he had a Archmage's Charm. But it's more likely that he has a removal spell for the Master. Alternatively, I could just play the Relic, risking getting hit once with a Ragavan. But Archmage's Charm is like really groundbreaking because then the Master buffs that guy up as well. And I'd rather want him to counter the Relic. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, here comes the Archmage's Charm. Yeah. He just draws 2 cards. Okay, that's of course also a good utilization of it. But you can see that if he took my Tide Chipper, that would just be so bad for us because then he would have 7 power on board. We would be on 12. He could run a removal spell and we would be over with. This would be a 3/3 unblockable. Okay. Things are not looking good here. Was a mulligan to fire though. You see these cards here. Archmage's Charm and Express Radiation, giving him too much card advantage. I saw someone was Someone was asking me this question here about the card called Inspired Idea. He's not attacking with the Ragavan. I think I just want to take the 2 damage here. He doesn't have the removal spell then. Inspired by Idea is a 3-mana sorcery that lets you... Okay, interesting card. Not a good card right now. Hopefully it doesn't have any more charms here. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah. That's not good because we actually had an interesting situation there where if we didn't kick it, we could have replayed it again. But you know, him playing a Solidity is just really good. Let's just do this now. Damn! So I think we need to play the master. No, I think we should. Yeah, let's just play the master. Oh, let's play the Kira and then we trade with the master. Oh, let's better just play the Lord here. No, that's taps buffs it up. We are so boned here. Yo, Castro in the chat. Yeah, we're dead here. It's unfortunate. A mulligan to 5 was hard. Maka did play it well. There's not much we can do here. He should just connive once. Yeah, he's doing it right. Well done, sir. Maka wins. And unfortunately we didn't. But we'll be right back for the 5th round. Let's see if we can get a win on the outskirts here. We're back for round 5 here. Up against DD Milo, which is actually my homie Castro. And he was in the chat recently. But he's playing Hammertime and he's a really good player. He's been actually, he top 8'd a PTQ, back in the days. I should have a picture of that somewhere. In a tournament in London where he played with a Tezzeret deck. This hand we can keep. We want to use Tide Shipper on turn 2. And the fortification could be nice against Hammertime. And Castro was actually in the Twitch chat when we started this up. And he says, okay, no Spreading Seas, okay? I place out the Ursa Saga. And I say, of course, I promise no Spreading Seas. Springleaf Drum. considering countering this because this is one of their, mana engines. If we hit them with this Tachi, we really set them back on mana, right? This is actually a really hard matchup, so we need to think hard. But I think you can consider forcing this, and then I would probably just bounce away the Lord. We want to just get control them and then beat them out here. So I think we're gonna try to do that. Do it, says Fnatic. Exactly. We're doing the mana denial strategy. This is like Stone Rain, and this is like a Stone Rain. Yeah, exactly, Fnatic, I agree. He says yikes. And look, his Mem Knight is now a 1/1. Okay. Oh, Mimic is perfect. I want to play that because the Otawara could be really relevant. Also, he's not able to make a construct now. Here comes the hammer. If he has the Cigadas 8s, it's not good. No Cigadas 8s. And now... here comes the Stone Rain. He finds basic planes. This is mucho interesante. Another one. And another one. Doesn't he want to trade here? Okay. Next turn we can Otawara. Since he didn't want to attack, I think I should. We need to pressure him on damage here, and if he didn't want to trade before, he probably doesn't want to trade now. We should have played the Obora for, representing Forced Negation. I agree. We should have also attacked with Mutterwall because we want to use the Trickster on the construct token anyway. I completely agree with that. Next time we can put Muta and Muta. Yeah. Okay. He's gonna create the construct and block here. Or try to block, and we can trickster. Unfortunately, we don't really have anything more here, and he can now create it and put down Shadow Spear. Here comes Shadow Spear. We do have the Otavara next turn. I'm considering if it's worth auto-rarang now to get in for 3 damage. The alternative line was to auto-rar when he equips. Because otherwise he'll just equip to the Memnite and attack, right? Here you want to equip to the construct token. But I think we need to raise something, right? Next turn we can do a lot of damage though, so if he uses his turn to equip to the Memnite, it doesn't really matter. Let's just get that one out here. We do have Salty up here. So we did fight through 2 Usasega here. I don't really like Salty in this matchup. Okay, so my problem is that he can still equip here. He can use this and equip. So if Salty here, I can't equip the Shadow Spear and attack. But if it's Salty here, I don't have the Master to play in next turn. But I do have, 4 power. I think it's worth doing it here, and then head in for 4, 5, 6, 7. This is really aggressive, but the alternative play would be to let him get a 2/2 lifelinker. Now he can't do anything. Bottom. Okay, he bottomed it. And we can also draw a new one. So if we did the Mutawar line before, he would have been on 1 right now. Nice stuff here. Okay, sideboard. We need the dismembers. I think we need the dismembers. Tembo. That was pretty good. We need the dismembers. The brace bars are also pretty neat. And the Hercules Recall are nice. considering if you want the spell pierce, Fanatics says no pierce. Yeah, I agree. I actually agree. They have so few spells, and they're first. But we need the dismembers definitely. I think we need the dismembers. We need the Hercules, of course. Those are our best sideboard option against them. And we need the Brazen Borrower to bounce the creature that he's putting it on. It also is good against the construct tokens. And we need the Dismember for something like Pure Steel Paladin, for example. We don't like none of the other stuff. We need all the Spreading Seas effects and touch tips we can get hands off. Tricksters are good against them. I think the Svealoons is a bit slow in this matchup because they sometimes just race you out. And the Subtlety I also think is a bit clunky. I don't want to cut all my Svealoons. I think they are decent still. Fortification are not that hot, so we can cut 2 subtleties, 2 fortifications, and then we can cut down. We need the masters just to beat him in, to be fast at some point. Yeah, Mimic is not. Let's just take one out Mimic. It's a bit too slow. But Mimic is one of our lands, you know, but it's just so slow. We can cut one Mimic here. Okay. The sand is not impressive at all, but we do have Spreading Seas and Ether Vial. I think one try to keep it. It's not, you know, impressive hand, but just playing, you know, Otavara. If he places the Ursa Saga, we can do something here. Let's try to keep it. Maybe the fortification is better on the draw. 2 freebies. Inkmoth Nexus. Actually, how does this work with subtlety? Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, this is crazy. So now I can just put down a subtlety, right? I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna get a subtlety down and start being in. And I think we should just cut the Trickster now, since we I'm not excited about that one anymore. I think the Spreading Seas is too good against whatever comes in here. Hushbringer is interesting. Yeah, deal. We'll take it. Ideally you want to Spreading Seas here. But I rather want to hold up the Spreading Seas and save it. So I think maybe we should just play down the Endevours. I don't want to play the Lord here. Let's just get another Endevours up and running. Yeah, hopefully he side out his Mystic. Pretty good. Suspect he's gonna name Endevours, yeah. Shadow Sprayer. Interesting, he didn't want to get the life of the Hushbringer. Trickster? Yeah, fine. He didn't play a land here. Since we drew the Trickster, we can still play the Lord and just block the Midnight. But maybe I want to play the Lord first. Yeah, let's do that. Since the Trickster is not doing anything. I think I'll take the damage here. Because next turn we have a 3-3 surprise. Okay, what is this equipment card he's coming in here? Colossus Hammer. I would have never guessed. Okay, Ultivirus, nice. I think we should consider just playing the Spirit Seas here to make sure that we draw the lane for the Ultivirus next turn. I think that's pretty decent. He's clearly not having the Ursa Saga, since he hasn't played that yet. But again, Ultivirus, the Pithing Needle is not really that interesting. Maybe better just to attack with these two dudes here, and then we can surprise with a Trickster. But I'm gonna save the Ultivirus. I think I'm gonna save it. Hey, Component Cyranek. Yeah, I did see that list. Azoria's Merfolk with Ephemerate and Master of the Waves. That's really, really cool. That was a really cool list. I actually am considering trying that out. Okay, this is pretty decent here. Another Hushbringer. So when things enter the battlefield, they really don't do anything. Tidetappers, nice. That's a creature, that's a threat. He's one mana, just gonna attack with the team. We should have Tidetappered first. We should have not kicked that chat chamber. Here comes the there's a second. That's nice, we can get the Spreading Seas value. But we don't even want to Ursa second that one because now we have so much unblockable power. So we just can Spreading Seas anything else. We should have Spreading Seas the inward Nexus. Okay. Think we got it here. Yay! We got 3-2 in the league. And that was a really nice. I think we did a couple of misplays in the Merfolk game, but we did manage to get it back against Hammertime, against the DD Milo. So cool little run. We're gonna do one more for the stream, and for you guys watching on YouTube, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more action like this.